Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Howe from Empath Evolution. I'm here with a very special woman and that I'm going to introduce in a minute. And this is part of the Empath Awakening series that I'm bringing forth every week. I'm having so much fun doing this because every empath I meet has a different flavor, a different definition, a different path. Some don't even necessarily see themselves as empaths. Um, some see themselves as sensitives as opposed to empaths. But all in all, we're all going in the same direction. And when I tune into this woman, I want to bring her to you. So, hello and welcome comes to MONIKA. Hello, MONIKA.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Where are we? Where are you right now?
Welcome. I'm in a beautiful, beautiful sacred land on the Nile, Nuba, in Egypt.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I looked up a little bit about you, but you're probably going to be able to even share more. But I know some visionary, hypnosis, channeling, quantum. Quantum work is what you do. Um, Tell me a little bit more about who you are today, and then we'll go into your story.
Welcome. Well, yes, there are a few we can add up to them. I would, most likely describe myself as a creative channel. And yes, I have been, diving into the world of hypnosis, advanced hypnotherapy, quantum hypnosis, and channeling also more recently, though also for quite a while, the light language.
Light
So,
language. Beautiful.
so these are the tools which I do use to inspire and assist humanity in opening its potential. So here we can speak about individual potential and about the collective potential. So as we evolve individually, we also expand our collective potentials. And this is the amazing beauty of this time, that our potentials have shifted. What's available, what's accessible is different.
Mm.
And with this, also the tools we are working with are also much faster, and what they show what's possible is just extraordinary. So thank you very much for having me here today and for having an opportunity to share.
Oh my gosh. You just said so much in just two or three sentences. But more importantly than that, I'm tuning into the vibration of what you're saying, like the tone of what you're saying. And that's the part that for me is so rich and beautiful. Um, so let me just go a little bit further back with you. I ask everybody, how do you define the word empath? What does that word mean to you today? And did it ever mean something different to you? Did you connect with it at one point, or was it something that you never heard of? I try to bring it back to that because I see a lot of people that are empaths that don't have any idea that they're empathic. I see everybody as an empath to a certain degree. And then there are the empaths that are extremely gifted out there and that are tuning into others, seen and unseen aspects of others to do healing. So tell me more, MONIKA. Tell me more.
Oh, absolutely. What I feel about empaths, what I understand about empaths today, is very different than 5 or 10 years ago. And I do believe it will also shift in some time in the future. Though I would like to share what really, really touched me and shifted my knowing about empaths was really experiencing a power of a beautifully evolved advanced energy worker lady, and really experiencing the power of her empathy just in her speech. It was so delicious and powerful, and this is really how the reading download arrived and how we both were gifted the channeling about what empathy is. It's a superpower. So that's where I see it as a gift, and also I see it as a beautiful gift to humanity. And yes, all of us, I believe collectively, we are raising our ability to empathy. And you so beautifully shared what empathy is about, what empaths are about. Well, they have special abilities, they are beautiful healers, they're amazing connectors, they are wonderful enhancers. So they are, wow, they are special, special beings who already have this power of empathy and feelings and who already can sense and direct. So on one side, what it is, that it's to be addressed, helping others to recognize their feelings and direct, like really we would call it guess. Some people just guess or know things about us. And well, on the other side, we can look at them as empaths. So as we express different abilities, different skills, different capacities, empathy, I see it as a bridge also into opening wonderful opportunities and especially the future. As future is such a dear to me uh, topic, and well, it's really dear to all of us
Mhm.
as we are such a beautiful, transforming, transcending, and wow, such an important time on planet Earth.
Tell me about your awakening, like where you're at today, which is a sensing and feeling and um, not the typical way of experiencing what life is, but you're bathing in it, you're loving it, and you're sharing that with humanity. What was your did you ever have a normal experience of life and then things changed, or where have you come from, Monica?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just curious.
I was, well, at some point I saw myself as a young woman with dreams, and I wanted to find what this dream was. Though
Mhm.
also inside of me, I felt that it was something, exactly something I was meant to be doing. And I did feel that I had to find what it was. And it was the ability, the gift of seeing the future. And even though I had this as a child, things happened, and then I was guided. I was being reminded that I have this gift and I should, well, I should be working with it. And at that point, I was looking at people. Um, well, what do they mean? And well, life was happening though because of how it was happening. It put me into discovering the alternative healing methods and finding that real core what I wanted to do. So before then, I I loved well, very different lifestyle. My life goals and values were different.
Okay, so tell me how this came. How did it get your attention? How was it that you were guided in this way? Say you have this, perfectly normal, easygoing, everything's going smooth life, but then there's all this other thing, this other way you could go. What was it that made you actually make a right hand turn? I mean, were you forced in that direction? Did other doors close? Or how did you get nudged or did you get pushed, right? It's one or the other.
Quite a bit, all those elements. So thank you very much for well summarizing my journey before
Yeah.
I share it.
Yeah.
You're sensing it beautifully. Uh, yes, I was from now. I see that I was pushed into that. I was directed because all the avenues were going a little bit. So I had to find new avenues. Though I would like to highlight the shift in terms of what my life looked like before
Mm-hmm.
and as to now. And even though it looked different, I was still, well, the energy work was still happening through me. So even when I was, well, when my great joy of the year was to go on an exotic holiday where I visit very nice party clubs and dine and wine on the seaside, on the beach with girlfriends or partner, well, I was still performing energy roles, which I found out about it later. So even though meditation or spirituality was something out there, though it was very, very different life. So now when I travel to places, I'm very conscious of the places and of the energy, and it's a rich, broad experience. So when I arrive in new places, it's like wow, it's sensing the portals and feeling the portals and the energies of the places, and being fine-tuned with the earth. Well, before it was joy. It was the sheer joy of being on earth, which is also an amazing energy to, well, to travel with, to experience. So the waking point was really my vitality, my immunity, actually. As well, my health was fine, you could say, though. I thought that having a little cold ever so often, or like each month, was a little bit, I thought things could look different. So, as none of the doctors or even the tests, the professional test, could tell me what it was, because everything was showing fine, I went to see an aura reader. It was in London, in New Regent's Park, in one of the beautiful holistic centers there. And I remember the lady very well. So I chose her. I really read and studied about aura reading. And this was that's what I was fascinated about. I wanted to see auras. And when I saw books with chakras and energy, I thought, who wants to read about wheels?
Mm-hmm.
That was my, this
Mm-hmm.
was my original attitude. And of course, later I shifted and I progressed into seeing and sensing and working with it. Though the original was an aura reader, and it was so delicious. The lady started telling me beautiful things about me, about my chakras, about all the life experiences and all the existence and all the times and connectivity to the places which I felt I would love to visit, like St. Petersburg, that telling me about past experiences there, or Rome, where I already visited, and then suddenly like things started to make sense. So this was an opening to, well, energy, what energy can bring. It was that feeling and so many richness and details that no one ever told me about me before. So as I experienced this, it was also an energy healing. I could really sense it and feel it. And there was the one question which I inquired, though I want to be correct. So I will mention um, maybe it was a different person. Though there was a question about immunity, that was one, that someone told me, oh, you should just get some vitamins for the immunity. Maybe it was one of the doctors, maybe it was the lady. It was so many years ago. Though I remember someone told me there's a thing immunity. So it was this on one side, and another it was that discovering the energy work and the readers. So I was fascinated that it's possible to see auras. I just love this concept that we can see others' feelings and emotions and truth. So I thought, well, if we can evolve into that, then we can really always know truth, and we can see things and we can really understand like better and be informed and know ahead, and just I thought that's wow, that would be really beautiful. So that was my
Mm-hmm.
original.
You were fascinated by what you could do with it. Like
I
what
Yes,
could be done with that, what the prospect is of if she could see this, what about seeing the future of the world instead of, seeing auras is one thing, right? Seeing the future,
I guess.
seeing the past is one thing, right? So, okay, so she sparked your curiosity, correct?
Yes, I guess that was behind. I was searching for something, and the aura reading, it was just what I found the closest in front of me. And the future came differently later on when I was told that I should channel, and that was a big revelation. So I did attend a training, a channeling training, and I already went to visit Egypt a couple of times, and then I was very loudly told by the guidance that I should channel. And it felt at the time it felt like mm, it really felt like a lots of effort. I already trained, and yes, I can sit and do readings for people, though it's like, am I doing it right? Is it the right thing? Am I delivering the right thing? because it's such a broad responsibility. And eventually, I trained in the quantum hypnosis, the method of Dolores Cannon, and this just opened up my channeling abilities because what I felt is allowing that freedom of connectivity and emotions and allowing all those abilities to organically switch on. So my experience was different than the original quantum method, I would say, like than the standard quantum experience. It was very different, though I allowed that difference and I just worked with this. And I would say that another element was also studying the past. So when I started working with hypnosis in my very early experience, people would have unusual experience. So when I was just expecting to go by the books, by the method, the people would suddenly, well, be taken to other experience and tell me fascinating things about astrology and other times and beautiful resource of knowledge, which was like sitting in the most fascinating private cinema. And this was really what I would say a platform for those sensitive, empathic gifts to really open up to the broad spectrum of seeing. And it was, well, even though I was told that I have a gift of seeing, which I believe empathy is just an enhancer,
Mhm.
I had my personal journey of awakening, healing, finding that was finding the journey, also living the journey, and traveling a lot. So nature was a beautiful nature for those gifts, and also having worked with hypnosis and channeling and having that direct connection for guidance, for knowledge, for such a richness of energy, and also working with people and discovering this. So really being directly informed and also expanding the capacity of what is in us, who we are, what we are, why we're here, and what possible skills, abilities we can bring. So that was what really broadened it,
Mhm.
and that's when the channeling started to happen more and more easily. The It had different stages, so and it shifted over the years, and then it moved to channeling different things and also working differently, channeling tools. So there was a purpose of that.
Wow. Okay, so you're doing a lot of different things at this point. How long have you been? How long ago did you have that aura reading? That reading from that lady?
That was probably around 2008, or maybe even earlier, maybe 2005,
So
maybe even then.
a good 10, 15 years ago. That so that you started it.
It was very powerful to be seen by the eye of the seer. Just this was very powerful to be seen as different, to be seen that, well, I'm here with some gifts, that I'm here with a purpose which this lady could deliver and called for me. That was something which was so uplifting that, wow, where else do we go and find it? Who else, when we grow up, tell us all very beautiful things about us and nice things, very precious, and talks about our treasures inside of us, and then really can oversee what we came here for. And allowing this was, I believe, like opening that spectrum. Wow, there's something different. We can be doing something different. And with that, of course, the gift of seeing evolved. And with this, I had recollections that I had it as a child, that even spontaneously I could see it. I could look into the future, for example, when making lifetime decisions. Like, I knew that I could do this and become very successful in this. And then I looked into, like, okay, so if I choose this, I will go this far and it will be just more money, more this. And then what? One day things will shift in the world, and what will I be doing then? So I was already functioning with it. It was already there in a well different manner. It was just about really directing how much this gift can deliver, how much we can open to seeing, and yeah, and how much there is in the future. So there were, of course, many beautiful discoveries in this journey because there's only so much one really can cover and deliver, though each time
Yeah.
and the next one was enrichment
Yeah.
and enrichment.
So
And I believe what builds us up.
so almost like there are many different potentials. We have a certain amount of time to put into place certain whatever we decide to do, and making the best choice, the most impactful choice. What is that going to be? It's a choice on one level, but on another level, we may or may not recognize the implication of that choice. Um, so, do you help people discern their path forward? Do you work in that capacity, which is, I don't know if that's more psychic versus, it's all the unknown, connecting to spirit, connecting to their potential, connecting to their guides. But is that something that you do, or is that like, if you were to say what you do at this point specifically, because you could do probably anything you wanted to do, what did you choose to do?
Well, that's yes, it has been an exceptional journey of opening to so many potential and so many new tools. So at the moment, there are a few creative projects also, which I have dedicated to be bringing. So I will only mention this for now, and I would love to share more about the abilities, so what's possible on the personal level, because I believe that's what will add value the most to anyone who's empathic or sensitive or simply looking for direction
Mm-hmm.
or discovering about themselves. So even well, as I discovered the things which I discovered at the beginning of the journey shifted because I was able to build up into more things and they expanded. So yes, I operate with quite a few beautiful gifts, and the most recent are the ancient techniques, ancient beauty techniques, and working with the earth energies, because that's what's very important at this stage for humanity. It's very important how we return to the balance with nature, how we also open our abilities and skills. So there are more people who who can possibly open amazing skills and abilities, and it's important that this happens. So just like I opened them up and this made many things beautiful, and that has brought beautiful upgrades. So I would say that upgrades is the very important thing for now, because it offers us much faster awakening, much faster shifting, and it's very delicious. So that's the connectivity with the future self. So yes, I help people with finding the right path, and the way it happens is actually recently, or well, for a while, it comes very clearly when people present choices. Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? And then the energy feels really with an exceptional accuracy. This is the good path for you. This is a good path for you. This is the location for you, or even very specific with the numbers and dates. So that's something which personally, when I started receiving breakthroughs about numbers and dates, I was ecstatic, because for some time it was like really like, there are people who are very precise with dates, and for me it happened at some point, and then also the sky upgrade expanded. So upgrades for well, anyone really, though, especially helping healers and light workers to advance with their abilities, also helping people to understand the unique, unusual skills, unusual potentials, because I believe these are the super future openers. These are of super importance. And especially, while many people are perhaps just traditional professions, um, waking up to that is something different. There could be something different they could be doing, or maybe they already in energy field and they still feel that there's something else. And absolutely, I will share. Yes, there's so much else. There are beautiful future selves, and integrating those future selves through upgrades, through integrated personal work or group work, or simply individual work dedicating to that, is what brings us into, well, collective synchronizing with the most auspicious outcome, because there are so many time less available. And ultimately, we have so many things to take care of ourselves, our families, and our beautiful Mother Earth.
Right.
And skills which can help to, well, facilitate more of the change faster and for everyone. So I would like to share what's was very interesting, what I found in the work since about a couple of years, that there are skills, special skills, which are gifted, channeled, or well, integrated for some time to serve a specific purpose, and then the purpose is served, and there can be other tools, and they are also seasonal. So that's how I have been working with the several months, that there are requests of energy, what we are bringing, what's important to happen, which upgrades are to be brought, and that's what creates the most auspicious. So firstly, when we are in tune, what we are to be doing, what is to be brought, upscaling, and also perhaps calling more of leaders, facilitators, to embrace the deeply enriching earth energies in all the transformative work, because they do make exponential difference. And that's where we speak about advancement, about the future, our future, and our future, what we will be doing, what our lives will look like, what the life around will look like, is such an important topic to us. And then we come to discover, yes, we can make a contribution. We have amazing things and abilities inside of us, and more people are being able to awaken this, to also understand it, and to deliver to humanity. And that's beautiful, because that's when we transcend also, wow, within the energy work, about what's possible and how much beauty we have as human beings.
So I have that's good. That's awesome. I have two questions for you. First one is, did you struggle at some point on your journey, and what did that look like?
Well, I had quite many breakthroughs, and like today, I can see that every challenge was well, intentional
Yeah.
to bring myself into higher up level and to move to something next. Uh, so mainly to evolve to the next level of skills or another area of skills. And I would say that I had a beautiful period, a long period of amazing stability. And there were two factors. So eventually, when I built it up, that breakthrough, it was the big breakthrough happened. Even though when I lived in London and everything looked like it should have been fine and amazing, and many things were amazing, I was searching for, I felt there was something else, like I was meant to move somewhere. And whatever I was doing, that move was, well, I was still yearning for that move. So the super um, shift, the thing which brought that super shift and a massive breakthrough, where things started really being like put on the plate for quite a while, was traveling to see my oasis and attending the equinox alignments.
Attending the what?
Equinox
Oh, the
alignments.
equinox. Okay. Got it.
So this was the main. That's when I started traveling lots to nature and reconnecting with nature. So this was the what I discovered missing element, because I grew up surrounded with nature, and then I went to live in the cities, and that's where also I unlocked the super immunity, where for 5 years non-stop I created a super health, like without even a, well, maybe there was a one day of a fever in 5 years.
Okay.
And how so I created an amazing health. I lived really healthy, being a vegan, or mainly vegan, and then alkaline vegan,
Okay.
and spending lots of time in nature, and also being with the ancient sites. So this is what really brought me a different sense of alignment in life. I have found that my purpose was to travel to the ancient sites and be with the ancient sites, and also be more on the sacred lands and spend time. So yes, I was magically put into it because well, the way I spent my first long journey, long 5 weeks in the Oasis, it was unexpected. I left London with a suitcase packed for an Easter luxury weekend in the Easter celebration um, in the Greek island.
You
And it was
definitely
so
had a
fun.
very fun life. You definitely had a very fun life. Um, so if you were looking at a light worker, someone that was just waking up at this point, um, up leveling, shifting, transformation, all of what that is, um, what are like one or two or three things they need to keep in mind in the beginning, right? We'll do the beginning first. In the beginning, these are very important things for you to know. 1, 2, 3. These are the most important things for you to know in the very beginning of a journey. Um, I'm sure there's a whole resistance piece. People don't want to, don't want to, don't want to. How do we get them to a point where they're like, yes, 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 to embrace the journey?
Well, I can share that I have been lucky. I had the privilege to work very closely with people who were like, yes, 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 quite a few. So that's where my understanding of the expansion came from, because I work with people who just love doing it. They love the energy work. And we were like, wow, this was like, wow, 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 breakthrough after breakthrough. This is so amazing. And it opens so much of our potential. So I would say there's a big reward. Though the very important thing to remember is selflessness, that there is the most beautiful things open up from selflessness. Though for anyone who is starting, what I notice in the collective, what I see as important is that when people are drawn to an energy work, especially when people are coming from a very traditional model of 9 to 5 schedule, and also it's a model of society that you get a profession, you become like this, and it's gonna be like a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which can work fine for some, and others will just have a very different path. So because especially when people worked in a 9 to 5, or we just had such a construct in a society that is, well, for sure much less, because we have more creative works and more holistic, very flexible and fluid works. Though I would say for anyone who is starting with this, it's easy perhaps to think that, oh, I discovered some method and it will be just this. I will be doing this and this. Because that's an exceptional example that for me, it could not work. And when you're in energy, when you awaken to working with energy and discovering the purpose, the energy is in place. So one of the things which well, which I find very different in my life, is that sometimes I hold portals. There's so much energy flowing through the night, and I'm awake the early morning hours or late night hours. So to have this and be in a traditional schedule,
Not going to work. It's not going to work. Not going to work. Yeah.
that's one. The really what I would like to emphasize. Though even when it happens, it comes easily because it's very energizing. So I learned to maneuver with this and manage this. Though for anyone who's starting and discovering beautiful energy methods, it's easy to think that this is just the one thing you will be working with. That this is like, okay, so I found this and I will be working with this, with just seeing people. And that's where I see this about expanding, that yes, that's how we start. And it's beautiful to have this as a foundation and build confidence and discover in such a setting. Though it's also about opening that this is likely to evolve. For me, this evolution happened through traveling, through being in different locations, and also, well, being open to different energies and recognizing those energies, connecting with multiple energies. Also different, perhaps just, well, different richness of humanity. And well, Also, when you work with energy, the energy just work with you and through you wherever you are. That's
So,
perhaps what's very
yeah, the portal part though, Monica, tell me about the portal part. How do you see that? Because people are, I don't exactly know how to define portal to people. I know the idea of portals, but I can't, and I know the idea of energy coming through you and clearing and raising your vibration up. But what is the purpose behind the portal concept? And how do you see a portal? Is every person a portal?
well. Yes, it's absolutely fine because at some point it was a big breakthrough for me too. I also hear about portals when I was told that when I travel, I'm opening portals, and it came also through a channeling lady, which I'm very grateful for. So yes, we are all portals. And of course, it's about how open our portals are, how active our portals are. And here we come to our emotions. So when our heart is open and we have beautiful emotions, then we become a portal of love. When we have joy, we're a portal of joy. And these things just work through us, even if we do just that. So even before my, well, really diving into the more soulful journey, I was experiencing lots of joy energy. That was the being in portals with joy. So when I went to Rome for the first time, I had a sleepless night because it was such an amazing energy experience. And I felt like, wow, this is amazing. Rome is amazing. And that was long before really getting into meditation. And I felt super energized through the next day and even into next night. It was just such a wow experience. Yes, we are all portals, though of course it's about the importance is of having the portal of our heart open. So then the portals become really portals of beautiful energy, and that's when we carry compassion and understanding.
Right,
So, well,
right,
we can look at the portals from the energy point of view, and we can look at the portals from very practical point of view. So even when we do practical things, like when we cook or bake, we open a portal. We're in a good mood, creative energy when we approach it as such. And it's like, wow, the energy just builds up beautifully because we are tender and soft and we focus on this creativity and nature and nurturing. So that's how we create that home energy, and that becomes a portal. Another example of portal can be for sure education. So when we have universities and schools, they are portals of education. So here we understand that we are personal portals. So if the person would be sad, well, yes, they would be having a little bit of this as a color, as just as an ingredient. So we have to understand that there are energies which are like our main energies, which we came to gift, which are our the most like prominent energies for some. Well, and here we understand that there are energies of our personality and there are energies of our mood. So
of our what?
with this, we also moods.
Moods. Yeah,
Yes.
moods. Yes, moods.
So we have power
Yeah,
to strongly in our true self and carry that true self energy. And we also, well, we have a gift of being a human to be in different moods. So when we understand our core energy, and for some it can be, for example, gentleness. For some it can be um, love, joy. And these are universal for all of us. However, we can find that, especially at this time, we carry those energies more consciously. So there will be an energy. It's an example of a lady I've been working with recently, and her main energy is gentleness. And we can also look at this because this is when we start evolving for when we start, for people who start the energy exploration, things can be much simpler when we identify this core energy we came to give at this time to humanity, so which we came to represent, such as gentleness.
Right.
And this comes to discovering about our superpowers. We all have it. Everyone can gentle, though some people came to carry this and to bring these teachings. The gentleness is important, and also to gift it to humanity, also in a conscious, awake state, to give it to Mother Earth. With this, we learned that we can activate different energies. We can activate creativity. We can activate creativity through education, through home cooking, baking, through painting, through singing, through dance, through studying, through being in nature, in many different things. We can also activate superpowers such as politeness, such as being delicate, and such as being empathic. So here we understand that we maneuver what we really activate in our portals, what we create in our portals. So these are the personal portals. And then I would like to share about the portals such as places and cities,
Mm.
because we can see these as portals.
Well, I think what you're getting at, 'cause I would almost have to say it differently in my head when I was explaining it to myself. It's who you're choosing to be. It's what you're really bringing to the equation. Some people are more abrasive, um, just what they're wearing, but it can be polluted. It might not be actually who they really are, but it's what they're wearing. It's what they think they are. So almost like you got to clean everything out first in order to get to the beautiful shine of who a person really is. And some people are pretty clean to begin with, and that shine comes through. So I kind of look at it that way. So, like when you go to a city or when you go to a state, each place you go to, each house you go to has a different feel to it based on the people that live there, but also based on where it's located. So it's like, it's how would I say it? It's a different sample. It's a different ice cream everywhere I go. So this ice cream is more vanilla. This city is more vanilla, and everybody in it is a little bit more vanilla because they're in that city. Because that city overarchingly is just more vanilla. So it's contagious. Energy is contagious, and we all kind of, whether we recognize it or not, on a certain level, we all merge together as part of, whether I'm in Syracuse or I'm in Orlando. Like, it does make a difference where you are. But then again, who you are makes the most difference, because I'm sure when you went to Italy or when you went to visit these cities, I'm sure not everybody was feeling the city like you were feeling the city. Do you know what I mean? So there's something to be said for who we are and how we experience what's near us. I remember in the very, not in the beginning, but close to the very beginning of my journey, I must have gotten really grounded at one point. I was meditating. All of a sudden, I started looking out at nature and I started seeing beautiful things. Whereas before, nature was just nature. Now, the grass was more green. The sky was more blue. I'm noticing the birds. Never before been, had I seen a priority in that? Had I even noticed that? So I think along the way, as you transform, you notice more and more things. You appreciate more and more things. So I want you to share about the cities, but I also want you at some point to, what do you think of what's going on with humanity right now? Like US, other countries? I don't know what you have your eyes specifically on, but there's a lot of emotions with COVID. There's a lot of emotions in general. What do you think is going on? I mean, from your perspective, looking at this from, I can see the future, I'm more of a seer. What do you think is happening?
Well, I see that I would like to just go to the what you described as a beautiful breakthrough of seeing a beauty. when you opened up the spectrum and everything was beautiful more than before.
Yeah.
And I would say that that's the exceptional potential and really a purpose of energy work and the skills that we open up to seeing this beauty. And I do understand it because I had this journey that how I was looking at where I grew up, where I grew up in a very picturesque area, and yet it has taken me to work with hypnosis, channeling, opening the heart, see a beauty, traveling to desert, Egypt, nature lands, and seeing that other beauty of nature. And then after having a little bit of break, coming back to my motherland and seeing, oh my gosh, Poland is so beautiful. And because I have been working with the beauty techniques and opening people to beauty, we just shifted from, well, working with hypnotic tools before, this beauty opens up quickly. So this is where we shift our perception. And this is where we are connected to the heart. This is when we are in truth. The truth is, we are on a very beautiful planet. We are on an exceptionally beautiful planet, and truth is what brings us most joy. What would we do first when, if we could do anything? We would like to travel and see her in most beautiful places. So here um, I will link the energy of places which you experience because you see the other places and people so beautiful. Like you go here and it's a different flavor. You go there, and absolutely yes, because even if we take a one person, let's say, with that beautiful gentleness energy, and she would go to, US or Spain or somewhere in Africa, her experience of gentleness, even if she was to carry just this gentleness, would be different in Spain, different in Africa, different in US, different in any place around the world. This
Nice.
gentleness all around the world would have different flavors. Even more, it would have different flavors on different days, weeks, months of the year. And it would be different in different years because on one side, we evolve, on another, we're in different latitudes and we're in different locations of Earth, and the Earth's also shifting. So that's how,
Yeah.
well, even if we meet the same people on another time of the year and another year, this experience will be different. And when we meet them in different locations, it will also be different. And that's what's beautiful about humanity. And when we function with an open heart, we can see this beauty. As for the current world situation, what I see is important is, well, quite a few aspects. So on one side, humanity is this beautiful awakening in acknowledging really what serves our evolution, what serves our potential. Can life in the cities really serve us well? So humanity is well we see. It's a call for balancing, for healing the human body. Like, well,
Yep.
uh, how long it takes for the body to recover? Can the model of 2 weeks holiday in the year be really enough? Because nature calls us so much to be more in nature. And when we're in nature, the experience you had, things shift beautifully and really, really quickly. And we also get bright ideas for our life, our outlook changes. And it's important for our vitality, it's important for our immunity, it's important for our wellness, for our health. So, as a future, I envision that humanity lives more in nature, that this nature life is more embedded. And because we have technology which makes it available with the internet, online connectivity, and remote work, and also more creative works, that's more and more possible. So that's what I wish for humanity. We humanity choose it. It's, well, it's a collective choice. It's a multi-play.
Yeah. It's not your decision.
And
It's not my decision. It's our decision. It's a bunch of little decisions and then big decisions, right? That certain people will make. So as a collective, it's we don't get to control. It's about us, but then again, it's about all of us. Um, but I always in my teachings, okay, where are you? Where are you? Because you don't control that, although you can impact it negatively or you can impact it positively. it's still got to run its course. It's a collective of people. It's not just what you want or just what I want in the world.
Absolutely. It is about choosing the things which are good for all of us.
Yeah.
And there are many different aspects of this. This perhaps would deserve another conversation. I would like to keep it like really concise with what's most important. So I would also like to highlight education, because education is an important aspect of this time, and also a creative education. So it's about embracing the education, the good education which we have, and also adding, well, also more creative education and education about humanity's beauty, humanity's heritage, and the vast richness which we already have on the planet. So things like studying biology or plants, these are the super enhancers of, well, who we are. So yes, there are different stages, and for some it will be awakening to the, well, healthier diet and nutrition. And for those who are already in that stage of wellness, it would be, well, the next level in nutrition, for example, is about studying how plants grow, and also studying our biology more. So there are different elements how we can blend this to maximize the education and building up for solutions, because who's going to bring the solutions? People have the solutions, and people are to bring the solutions. So people are to be, well, in the wellness in order to bring the solutions.
Yeah.
When we have wellness, our potential can really, really, really grow. And for some, it will be awakening to be in the heart. Though more and more, it's really the energy is raising so much that we are to be in the heart. That's the choice. That's the ultimate avenue of love. And another thing which I would love to see for humanity is really coming more with collaborative, contributing projects, which there are so many we could bring when we really engage, when we stand up together as a humanity, when we decide that we choose love, when we decide that we choose to protect each other, to protect the planet, to care for each other, when we understand that we have very beautiful, precious things inside of us, and that we create environments which are, well, exceptionally accommodating with the skills and abilities. Because that's when we touch on the next generation,
Yeah.
which the empath side came to make path and way to show, well, this way is good for us, because they can sense, they navigate with the hearts. Empathic people navigate with feelings, emotions, and the hearts, and these are important. So emotions are hugely important for whole humanity to understand, because this reflects on our all our energetics, such as climate changes and weather patterns. So that's why understanding the patterns and that links to the emotions is of such an urgency and importance, that we are all in a conscious, respectful responsibility for which powers we really share with the world, which emotions, and how we make ourselves stronger, how we make others stronger, how we enhance each other's
Yeah.
potential, how we really understand our strengths, what those strengths like, and how to function in a way which makes us stronger, and also which opens up new ways of living for, wow, children, people with special gifts, special abilities, because they are the ones to bring very beautiful things in the future. And there are already people with many beautiful things, perhaps, well, boiling to unfold and open up. And then we also look, well, are the environments conducive? And so there are many, many different places and many different levels. The amazing potentiality exists, and yet we have to understand the universal laws and, well, understand and apply the universal laws and live correctly. Respect our Mother Nature, respect each other, love each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Monica, what is your website? What is your website?
I have a few websites. So the most current website is will be launched soon, so I will still wait with sharing the name because it's being updated. And there's quite a lot of information and a blog about my travels on ancientpassion.com. It's
Okay.
very simple, ancientpassion.com, and also my website, monika.slezszynska.com, with information about hypnosis from this point of view. So that's where I started. Then it evolved to travel to the ancient sacred sites, and lots of opened up from this. So I wish that this is what I wish for empaths to really discover about themselves, that which you beautifully brings in the name, empaths evolution, that it is about evolution and evolving and understanding that as human species, as energy being, we evolve and we shift. So we have things which serve us well on for some part of the journey, and then there will be more and new. And that's what's exciting. That's what brings us vibrancy. That's what opens so much potentiality. That's what's very invigorating and re-inspiring, re-educating us about human potential.
Yes. Well, thank you, Monika. I didn't say your last name because it's SLESZYNSKA, right?
You said it very well. It's
I
one
did.
of the most really challenging surnames to country.
I hear you. I hear you. All right. So, well, thank you for being here. And, we'll probably continue this conversation another time because there are questions I had, but we've been on for quite a bit. So I'm going to let people look forward to the next question to learn more. Um, Thank you for being here.
And thank you so much for sharing so broadly and bringing your superpower of empathy, and also educating about others about what's possible, and standing in your beautiful portal of empathy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I stopped the recording. Did I stop the recording? Maybe not. End recording.